What's your philosophy about why you would play the left shot winger on the right side and the right shot winger on the left side? It obviously worked, but was it a matchup? Like, what was the philosophy?
It depends on every game. Sometimes it's a matchup, sometimes it's the size of the player, sometimes it's the speed of the players. Like I've had off playing against top guys because of his speed. And you saw him back check and catch up to Crosby. He caught up to McDavid, and that was pretty impressive. So if you got guys that have trouble skating against those guys, then you're in trouble. So that's one thing. Speed is one thing. Size is another one. The type of player you're going to play against. The other thing, too, the lefties and righties, to be honest with you, I mean, that's old hockey. It doesn't exist anymore. Right now, it's first on puck, the first guy back in your zone. Like the center used to be always the guy down low. That's not the way hockey works anymore. It's the first guy on a forecheck, first guy back. He's the first guy back. He's the left winger. He's down low. So for me, even on faceoffs, I got a guy that's a lefty on one line, and the other guy's a righty. Which one is my centerman? Well, it's the guy that's going to take the faceoff. So the other one has to adjust. So there's a lot more versatility in the game now. It's not that straight line hockey that we used to see years ago or now. So in terms of evaluating players now, I never look at lefty, righty, and that's just the better player. A lot of the guys that are lefties that are point producers, they don't like to play on the left. They want to play on the right because they're opened up to the play once they're in the offensive zone. Some other guys, they're not very big, so in the breakout, they'd rather be on their offside because they can protect it better with their back, so they shield and manage the puck better. So every guy is different, but in the end, we're asking every guy to be versatile in what they need to do because, first of all, there's injuries, then we got to change lines because we're stale, and then all of a sudden you're hot. Now you're not going to be going on that line because you're a lefty. I mean, that's really tagging somebody and really downplaying all his attributes where you can put him anywhere. And I think that's what we've been doing since the beginning. That's why, and then over time, guys are used to it. And they give themselves some time to get some ice time. It's like, well, this guy's a right-handed winger, and they can't play left. Well, then you're not in the lineup. So you know what I mean. So but yes, specifically against other teams, it depends. When we're home and I can match, sometimes I don't even want to match because I look 3 equal lines. I don't need it, but sometimes when they got a dominating player, a dominating line, then you need, and we've had Pajot and Pyatt who've been unbelievable, and we've had different guys. Sometimes it's Kelly. Kelly needs to go in there so that we can take that offensive guy and put him on another line, and so up to now, it's served us well. I mean, does it work perfectly every game? No, but I think if you look at the core of the season, it's been pretty good, and it's been different guys, and we got guys who are offensive players like Hoffman and Bobby that have to do that and do a great job. It has tremendous value in our room because the players now see those guys as buy-in, paying the price, blocking shots, and so it's just a team atmosphere of, hey, no matter what we need, whatever we need, we're doing it. And I think that's probably the strength of our team since the beginning. You never know which guy's going to do it, and some days we'll win because we don't give anything defensively, and some games we'll win because some guys are doing it well offensively. But one thing's for sure, we've asked the players since day one, we don't want offensive players, and we don't want defensive players. We want two-way guys, defensemen and forwards, and that's how you end up winning because you're good at both, because now it doesn't exist anymore. You're a great offensive team, you're not winning. You're a great defensive team, it's not enough. The NHL now, there's parity, and every team that thinks they have a chance or wants to have a chance, it's got to be good in both. It's plain and simple.
One of the reasons I asked too is history, in that, well, it doesn't matter which side guys play.
Yeah.
It is your choice, because I'm sure Bobby didn't go to the left side because he felt like it.
No, he likes it more, to be honest.
But in the past, other coaches have played him sporadically on the left side to keep those left side skills relevant, because that's where he played in Anaheim. So they did that oftentimes to get him.
That'd be a great reason. You're absolutely right. That'd be another good reason to have because that with these type of players that they end up being able to cut to the middle and they have an open. But let's say we play a slash across game where the far side winger cuts across. Well, then he never ends up really on the breakout on his side. So you have to take that into consideration too, that when you're breaking out, if you end up on the out, then you might better off flipping your guys in having the lefties and righties off ice. But for me, it's you're at the NHL level. You're supposed to be able to take a pass on the back end, make one on the forehand, and so on. So there's obviously some guys that are much better straight line guys. But there's less and less of that. I mean, that's the NHL now is really about speed and cutting across and being able to do both. So the more we go on, I think there's less and less of that type of hockey and that type of player that's just straight line. It doesn't really represent where the league has gone lately and where it's going.
Coach, just to dumb it down a little bit, you're starting goaltender tomorrow?
It wasn't dumb. It wasn't dumb. Yes.
Are you still going to go with 11-7?
Probably not. Probably not. I'll have Neeler back in the lineup. So, yep.
And you said if Anderson wants to play, it says now that he's missed 2 months, are you going to have to be careful by the way you use him? Or is it
Well, without being careful, I think smart. You want to give him, obviously. He's rested. He wants it. But you want to make sure that, maybe at first you give him a reasonable amount of games to be able to recuperate. And, we've got, the game tomorrow. We got the game on Thursday, and then we got a back-to-back this weekend. So I hate to say in advance this guy's going to play, because that's not the way I do things. I always wait the day, and then I'll see. Just like we had one time with Andy. I thought I wasn't going to play him back-to-back with the Rangers, and he says, no, I want to be in there. Let's go. I mean, it's at some point, they don't decide who plays, but when your top players show you that they want it, I mean, you usually have a tendency to go towards that direction, because that's part of leadership also, and you don't want to crush their enthusiasm. I mean, that's probably the number one ingredient for great play.
Coaches, if you're winning games, they won't kind of mess with the lineup, but obviously you just indicated you might go back to 12-6. What's your philosophy on that in terms of kind of some coaches are, hey, win, and we're just going to keep them up?
No, for me, it's always about what we need today. I'm a today guy. Doesn't mean I don't worry about the future or the past. It's just today. What do we need today, and who you face. The last games, I felt we needed speed to get through that blue line big time. And we weren't doing that well. The 2 previous games were turning a puck over. So I thought we'd have a lineup where we can get back with our top guys on the fourth line and create space and some plays. And I think against Buffalo, we haven't been, our physical game hasn't been what it was against other teams. And for me, we need Naylor in the lineup for that one, absolutely. And then the game after is the game after. We're going to go to Jersey. We're going to study Jersey, and we'll see what kind of players we need in the lineup, what kind of look that we need, and we'll make a decision from there. So really, it's about today. There isn't a like a core decision made always on the same reasons why. It really depends. And sometimes some guys are tired. Sometimes that you've got a guy that's not doing well. So it's not about the number. It's really about what we need. And yeah, sometimes you need 4 lines, because you look at the other teams' lineup and you go, oh my goodness. Like last game when we looked at their fourth line with 58 points, that fourth line's coming at you, and even Cizikas lining of the fourth line sometimes against our number 1 line was in our zone. So that you need to match that in terms of speed and be able to manage the puck. So that was the reasoning behind the last game. It wasn't because we had won the previous game with 11. It wasn't. It was just about what we needed for that particular game. Because if it was Buffalo last game, Neeler would be back in last game.
Can you explain or pinpoint why Robin Leonard has seemingly had so much success against you guys?
I don't know. He might have left some voodoo dolls in the back there. We got to find somewhere in the lockers and get those pins out of them. I don't know. It's I know he's buddies with the players, and he's probably extremely motivated because he got traded. I can't talk for him. All I know is we have not been our best against Buffalo. We've won 1 game out of 6, if you include the exhibition games against them. So we're going to spend the entire day looking and making sure that we're very specific about what we need to do tomorrow. But clearly, that's the team that's given us them in Nashville. I'll be honest with you, it's been a little mind-boggling. Why? Because different games have been different scenarios. If it was always the same scenario, I'd say, you know what, we got to do this, and this is missing. But it's been different scenarios and different lines, and so all I know is we got to do better against them. That's clear.